Hey, you crazy cats! 42's live streams and videos are simply not available on vinyl. You will have to go to the YouTubes for that. So if you want content about British traditions and culture, cutting edge social commentary from an unapologetically patriotic perspective, along with a side order of madness you simply will not find anywhere else, then this is the place for you. And to all those early adapters in the chat, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That's how you get the good stuff and make sure you never miss a tasty treat. So with that being said and done, squeeze yourself in. Let's get into it. You know you want to. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Please delete as applicable because the internet is wide, worldwide, and time zones are indeed a thing. I almost got that quite smoothly from the intro to everybody on screen, but it was a little bit of a hiccup. Here we go. Anyway, welcome to the end of the month, the last Saturday stream, the end of the month stream. Expect some madness, and I will introduce my guests, and I will put your names up on your comments up on the screen to recognize the audience, but I don't generally straight everybody out whenever I've got guests in. We'll start off with this week's guest, Mr. Boo Bear, Mr. Peter Benton. What about you, chum? Welcome aboard.
Hey, mate.
Doing good. How's yourself?
I'm all right, yeah. Yeah.
All going well with the new house?
Yeah, going sound. Monday they build the new cattery, so that's going to be interesting to see that all built up when I come home on Monday.
Excellent. My other guest this evening, Mr. Sansom Communion, the regular co-host. What about you, chum?
Hello, mate. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's well. Yeah. So it's been a little while. I missed last month because I was out, unfortunately, but I've made it this month.
We had professional co-host Mr. Packett in your place, and he did an exceptional job, as he always does. But
yeah,
you would expect that with a professional co-host. Any updates on the golf?
I played in June, and that was it, really. And I was terrible, but I enjoyed it because it was a great trip. It was a 3-day away trip. It was great stuff. It was a good laugh, but I was terrible.
Oh, no, that's about the 3 days away, mate.
Yeah.
The other guest that we're expecting is Robyn, Courage is a Cure. Although I haven't heard from her today, I'm not quite sure what all's going on. It's quite possible there's been a bit of a mix-up with the time between Australia and UK. I normally send her an email that arrives the day before, and I don't think that happened. So I'm not. So she may turn up and she may not. So there you go. That's where we're at with that. Yep, just put a couple of comments up on the screen. What I will do is I'll go through the housekeeping, the usual shout outs.
Yeah. Well, I've got a couple.
Yep.
For tomorrow, obviously 7:00. Ragnar Ironspear over on his channel. He's got his end of the month, usual end of the month guest on, Matt the Angry Bootneck. And then it's down at 9:00 tomorrow. We was myself, Toffee, and William. That's Life But Not As We Know It. We're supposed to be streaming tonight at 8. But William's at I think it's a stag do or some shit like that. So he had to change that. So we've changed it to it's down as 9 o'clock tomorrow. So Rag's till 7 till around about 8:30 or so, and then over to That's Life But Not As We Know It's channel for me, hopefully Toffee and William. So that's my bit of housekeeping. Yeah, I'll let you mention Dave's Waffles house, because like I say, I like Waffle Dave's house, you see.
Yeah. You're more of a fan of Waffle Dave's. There's a couple of other shows that we always give a shout out to. One would be Robyn, Curry's is a Cure, who may or may not appear this evening. To be fair, this was her right to reply month. She wasn't the main guest. That's Peter this month. So I always say to people, it's not an obligation. So I'm not quite sure. But she was the last email I had. She was looking forward to coming on, but it just hasn't worked. The other show I'd like to give a shout out to is this guy here, Rich from RPW Media. Does a really good job of taking you through everything that's going on in America politically, and has a great wealth of knowledge. There's a whole website behind that with lots of resources for anybody that's wanting to know what's going on. So that's good. I'd like to give him a shout out. And obviously, the one, the only, the Dave's Waffle House, the home of the world famous Friday night duck race, the bestest and biggest duck race on the internet. There are many ways you can get ducks. You can leave comments on streams after they've finished. You can interact during the show. You can buy ducks, and you can indeed, as Mr. Peter Ranton will tell you, throw bananas to get ducks. Many ways to get a duck. Get yourself a duck in the race, and getting the duck in the race every Friday night. The other thing I will say about the Waffle House is it's really handy to have a pub that we can all virtually sit in, that's not political, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can just hang out and relax. And everybody's pretty much of similar opinions. It's chilled. It's a very important resource that we have, because we do need to do that. Yeah. So there you go. And with that, I suppose we really should get into your stories. And what I will say is, our quality in this end of the month stream, it has went down, because we had sperm cocktails. We had stories about shit being turned into steaks. In fact, Almac got us quite a few good stories about nefarious uses of shit. He seemed to manage to find one every fucking month. The last couple of months, we haven't had anything really that outlandish, juicy, or interesting. But lads, I've fucking got it. I've got a cracker. I've got a story about an orgasm retreat for women. They have actually produced a place where women go to learn how to have orgasms. You know, just whenever you thought that feminism and the left and everything had ran out of fucking dumb ideas or nefarious ideas,
Right.
I've got this. So I'm going to get the story up on the screen, and we'll go through this. StreamYard. Here we go, and it's in the metro. I went on an 11,000 desert orgasm retreat. This is everything that happened. And this is our girl here that went on this orgasm retreat. Right. Yeah. So this is a girl here, and we will find out all about it. and get rid of the advertisements. If you ever find yourself in Joshua Tree National Park in California, don't be alarmed if you hear moans and groans of women at the height of orgasm. The back to the body sex retreat takes place among the wilderness, which aims to teach women how to climax. The X-rated retreats are hosted at a variety of beautiful locations and range in cost. Typically, guests pay around 11 grand. But Jana Hopkins, this week's Just Between Us podcast guest, went along to a 3-day retreat priced at just under $1,000. So she paid $1,000 for this, and she's getting orgasms. Now, I know that there will be those among you that think that this is totally salacious and sex-driven and just an excuse for women to get their rocks off. But I will have you know that this is actually the first form of mental health treatment that was ever created. Before Freud had the couch for people to lie on, women who were getting fits of hysteria would go to a quack shrink and have their vagina massaged to get rid of the stresses. And this is just the natural progression of this. Obviously, at some stage, their husbands decided that their wives, because these were married women, obviously because the money to pay for this shit, they decided that this vagina massage was no more. So the same people then decided to talk to them on a couch. They probably talked them through the process or whatnot. So yeah. And then it always makes her feel better. Right, so anyway, I will continue on. So
I was just going to say, is that Jana Hockin, the one who Joker's always mentioning, because she's just like literally exists to be a 304 on the internet. She literally does. I mean, all her. I mean, she's well into her 40s now.
Yep.
So she's a double post-wall eggless harridan, and she still goes around thinking like, you know, she's all that and a bag of chips. So. Yep. You know, these multimillionaires come wife me up, and it's like, no, that was 20 years ago, love. Go fuck yourself.
You've missed that boat. Yeah, it is. That is the exact girl. Hosted by founder Pamela Marsden and her team of helpers. We'll get to the helpers in a minute. There's a packed timetable from bondage classes during which guests are stimulated to orgasm to real life autonomy lessons. At 40, Jan felt like she was in a sexual spiral and says she had begun to perform during sex at the expense of her own pleasure. So keen to change her ways, she headed back to Bali for one of 16 women, all in their 40s, apart from one 75-year-old, who were keen to change their ways. Here's how she got on. I'm not going to play the video. I thought it'd be full of extroverts who were outlandish and wanted to perform in front of each other, but it really wasn't, says Jana. They were either getting divorced and realized they hadn't had a proper orgasm and wanted to right wrongs, while other women were dealing with trauma and needed to learn how to enjoy sex again, which was quite heartbreaking. Yeah, upon arrival, the group were presented with a smorgasbord of fruits and cheeses, a charcuterie, I don't know, some fancy fucking plate with cheese. As they tucked in, creator Pamela appeared. Little did they know the woman had already been taught a valuable lesson. Pamela asked if they had helped themselves to the snacks they wanted, or if they had stood back and let the others eat first. Jana initially thought that she'd gone wrong when she began eating without hesitation, but Pamela insisted she had actually got it right. See, there's deep psychology in here. Jane says, Pamela explained to the Women are brought up to believe to take the scraps. Are they fuck? Where did this "we are the I am the table" thing come from? Sorry. She told us, let this cheese board be an example to you that you should put your needs first. The first exercise involved going around in a circle with each woman explaining why they intended to retreat. But Janice says that was pretty much the only tame thing that happened. Then it was on to tantric meditation, guided by Pamela and the helpers. So I think there's another name for these helpers, and we will get to this. We had to hold our vulvas and rock back and forth, either naked or in our underwear, and speak to our vulva until, fuck me, it's the talking fanny again. The talking vagina. Vagina monologues were ours, vulva, and tell it what we wanted, who we wanted to be, and what our goals were. My goal was to take back ownership of my sexuality because I realized I was performing. I can make grand orgasms like the best of them, but am I having a real orgasm? Am I putting my needs first? I would say the reason why you're performing, love, is because you know that the people that you're hooking up with are only hooking up for one time only, and you're trying to make it like this special thing that they just get hooked on and can't live without. Anyway, the next activity, blindfolds, appeared. We were blindfolded and laid upon the ground while sexy music played. Janice explains. The helpers adorned your naked body with crystals and fruit to bring you back to your femininity. The older woman lying next to me looked down at her body and just lit up. Jane adds, I started crying because it was beautiful to see her looking at her body like it was brand new. It gets wilder, if that's even possible. Actually, it gets a lot wilder than that because I've read other articles about this. Jane says that there was a shibari workshop, a Japanese art in the use of ropes with a partner. It's often considered a form of bondage. It's not a form of bondage, love. It actually is bondage. Maybe do it with your meaningful other. And that retreat, it involved the helpers stimulating women in different ways by scratching, whispering, and growling. The aim was for each participant to discover which kink lit the fire inside of them and made them want to get it on. Following that, a male sex educator brought Pamela to orgasm in front of everyone. Here, Sansom. See, whenever a male helper helps a woman to have an orgasm, is that called a sex show?
Probably. Was it a fella, was it?
Yeah. So she's a woman and a male helper stimulated her to orgasm. Is that not called a sex show?
Yeah, that's what I would define it as. But obviously, they're claiming it's medical, isn't it? It's just like it's not porn. It's not porn. It's art.
See if the people, see if the clients at this retreat were male. Do you think they might call it a brothel?
For 11 grand, it better be.
Right. Exactly.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's fucking. It beggars belief. Well.
Do you know something? You've got the scoop on this story. I bet that I bet Joker covers this in the next few days.
Oh, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. Sadly, Joanna was the only one. Yeah, she's claiming that she's the only one to retreat who didn't reach orgasm, but she's now well equipped to climax in the comfort of her own bed. I got close with the shibari rope, she says. I think my brain was just too on during the whole thing. A lot of women got really good at letting go and being touched consensually. But all I kept thinking was, who's doing this? Because you've got a blindfold on me. Yeah, so yeah, the put blindfolds on, get all sorts of people to paw all over them and stimulate them in all sorts of way. At what part of At what stage are they going to admit that what they're at is a very expensive and controlled orgy? The women around me were experiencing the most amazing orgasms, but I couldn't switch off, unfortunately. Yeah, I was too busy thinking about writing this story. Upon leaving, though, she hooked up with an ex-boyfriend and had an amazing time.
Yeah, there's the fucking surprise, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
she can't. There's the reason why she can't get attached to anybody, because she's run out of oxy bloody tocin.
yeah.
Because she's had literally had more cock than bloody Bernard Matthews. So
Uh, I believe the phrase is she's had a forest run through her 6 inches at a time.
yeah.
So there you go. Any other thoughts, lads? Apart from
Well,
the thing,
it's not for me, but I can see Pete signing up for it straight away.
it's more how the fuck have we came to this point in society?
Sorry, I'm just eating an ice cream.
Like, and this is in mainstream fucking news. This is like, used to be stories about I ate raw cookie dough.
Yeah, it's just like I say, it's a sad indictment. I mean, now I got into a little bit of a Telegram discussion, shall we say, with regards to the slippery slope fallacy, which it's not a fallacy at all because there is direct lines there, but
Oh.
It was basically in 2014 when vague Dave Cameron got the laws through for same-sex marriage, and then that was the slippery slope to drag queen story hour and all the troon stuff. And
it's like, well, for there to be no slippery slope, it went from we just want to be able to get married to suck her cock, you bigot.
Yeah, and I actually said to him that I mean the lineage goes back quite a long way. Unfortunately, is absolutely rooted in original feminism.
Yep.
But if you wanted to sort of put a stamp on it, it would be 1967 when they decriminalized homosexual acts, basically. So that was the starting point.
Hold on. They did not. Homosexual acts were never criminalized. See, here's a really interesting thing. See if you look up the list of people who received pardons for homosexual acts or being gay, and you try to get the list of the men and the list of women, you can't find that. And you can't find the gender difference because there was not one woman ever convicted. Lesbians got away with all of that. In fact, whenever they were making those laws, they never even considered making lesbianism a crime. The crime is being a man that has sex with men. And all of the persecution that they're currently claiming about blood bank not being allowed to give blood and all that sort of stuff, that only affects men that have sex with men. It does not affect lesbians. And whenever they first come up with the anagram to describe the gay alliance or whatnot, it was gay, it was gay, lesbian, bi. And the reason why gay was at the front was because the gay men, were the ones that had felt the force of the law, and everything else is riding on their coattails. However, what has transpired now with that movement is the lesbians were at the front, and it went to LGB. And I tell you now, if this plays out much longer, it's going to begin with a T, because that's who's currently running that movement, and they will have their initial move to the front.
Yeah, well, like I say, that's the pathway there.
Yeah,
But this one here is, like I say, for following on in a very similar timeline. You can trace all of this degeneracy, if you like, back to when the contraceptive pill happened in the 60s as well, because obviously, now they could go away and do what they wanted with whoever they wanted without having to necessarily face the consequences, bar maybe a dose of the clap or something. So yeah, all leads to this thing. And the thing is, like I say, society for a very, very, very long time had a mechanism for keeping this shit out of the public eye and keep making sure that it wasn't, the norm or the de rigueur thing to do through shaming and shunning. So now, back, if you went back, I would say to, the 90s, this kind of thing, it would be, it's just pure filth. It's filth. It's degeneracy. But now it's like, oh, you go, girl. It's stunning and brave. They're all we are literally living in an upside down world where, you've got, like say in the 80s, you look at the what was it, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition.
yes,
and you had these basically Baywatch looking pretty ladies, some famous, some not necessarily so. And now what's being pushed in your face as being the face of Sports Illustrated is Lizzo.
yeah.
So, but the thing is, if you were to turn around and say, well, actually, I thought Christy Brinkley was better than, you're just a misogynist. You're just a, and I'm like, well, not especially. It's just that, that doesn't look very good at all.
Did you ever see the video of Lizzo sitting on the golf cart thing at the back of the, backstage at the concert? No, she's it was her and her two friends were getting in the front. She was getting in the back. Whenever she sat in the back, the front wheels come off the ground. It was funny as fuck. I've no idea where we'll find that video again at short notice. But you could see her. She walks over and sits down on it, and the front end just comes fucking off the ground. But that's where we're at now. We have orgasm retreats for women with male helpers, and it's definitely not a pay to play type thing. Couldn't be, because women wouldn't do that. There you go. Sanson, what have you got for us?
I've got nothing, mate. I literally got in about 10 minutes before, and I've got some stories from Telegram, but they're not generally funny ones. They're just just observational shit from the week. But yeah, we're we're sliding into an economic oblivion because the idiot Rachel from accounts
Yeah.
just it's I remember. I mean, do you remember the BBC TV series, the satire series,
Yeah.
The Thick of It?
Yes.
Right. Honest to God, that is. I would say that the people in the thick of it, that was absolute satire. Showing the utter and abject incompetency on both sides of being able to field anybody capable. I would say that every single one of those people in that, every single one of those characters are more capable than what we've actually got in the Houses of Parliament right now. It's just rubbish. Like, they keep on coming up with these stupid. This is the thing, you see, because I don't honestly know who they've got advising them. But if it was me, I think if just judging by the look of it, it's some 5-year-old twat typing shit into Chat GPT, going, Chat GPT, how can we save the economy? Oh, well, what you could do is put national insurance on the money that rental properties attract. So if you get paid, if you own a property and you're renting it out, before you used to be liable for that as income tax because it was classed as income, but the national insurance part of the tax system is in regards to actual work. So if you have stocks and shares, then any sort of returns you get on those stocks and shares, they form part of your income, or unless you're an MP like Rachel Reeves and all the other fuckers who've got all their shit offshore so it doesn't get touched anyway. Because I'm guaranteeing you now, I bet the people in that bastard chamber, I bet the ones who pay the least amount of tax in this country are those 650 traitors in that parliament, yeah? So it's like, oh, yeah, well, what you can do is put national insurance, make national insurance contributions, those monies coming from rental attract national insurance contributions as well. And it's going to, that'll net you a couple of grand or something ridiculous. And the thing is, as everybody knows, because we are saturated with people, the housing market, all resources and services are maxed out effectively because of all of the immigration, all of the legal immigration, we can sideline the illegals into one little pot because they don't even feature when it comes to the amount of destruction that legal immigration's done. So, what did Labour think? After they finished typing into Grok or Chat GPT, and then the next thing you get this announcement: the Chancellor says, we can save 5 pence if we put national insurance contributions on rental money. And I'm thinking to myself, well, does the Labour government, these communist arseholes, well, they're all communists anyway, the vast majority of them in Parliament, don't matter if they're Tory or fucking Labour now. So, okay, so you've already got rent that's barely affordable as it is for people. You're going to put national insurances on the money that the landlords make. Do you think that the landlord's just going to say, gee, shucks, I'm just going to have to take that as a bit of a hit? Or do you think they're going to put whatever it costs them straight onto the amount of rent that they're charging? Because guess what? I'm pretty sure I know what they'll do. Because I'm certain there are some nice landlords out there, but we also know there are some scumbag landlords out there, and usually have not necessarily British sounding names either. They'll just bang up the rent, and then people. So what's going to happen is people are going to be forced out of their homes by a decision made by Rachel from accounts that's going to net her the square root of fuck all, basically, because we've got a 50 billion, well, we've got a 40 billion pound black hole in the budget, and that's only to stave off the eye-watering amount of interest that we're paying on all of our existing loans. So, like I say, but in order to keep the international banks happy, we actually need to find 50 million. Well, there's one very, very simple way that you could legitimately put a massive dent in that deficit, and that is just send all of the illegals back. Anybody who's in prison from a foreign country, they just go straight back as well.
It,
You get rid
it's
of all of the asylum bullshit. Literally, if she was to do that, so we're not even talking about the repatriation side of things. Just by getting rid of all of the illegals and all the foreign criminals back to wherever the hell they come from, and all of the asylum bullshit, because say when does an illegal immigrant become an asylum seeker? When they get caught, basically, so they can all fuck off. If she was to do that, we know the cost, how much it's costing us per day. But that's only they'll give you the little figure on how much it's costing them to put these people up in hotels and whatever. So I think that comes to something like, it was 4.7 million, but I think it's tipped the scales at 5 million a day. But that's literally just for the board. They also give them everything under the sun, like free dental care as soon as they arrive here. Oh, how's your teeth? Are you all right? Matey boy down the road, Sam Jones, there, he can't get a fucking appointment, and he certainly can't get an NHS dentist anymore because they don't do them anymore. But you come in and
I've got news for you about NHS dentists. There's no catchment area. So, for sake of argument, if you live in London, but every 6 months you need to go to some wee place in the middle of nowhere that happens to have an NHS dentist with space, you can register there, and there's no objection with you not being within their local area. So technically speaking, anybody from England can come to Belfast and get an NHS dentist.
Yeah. Well, across the board, because we're giving them money, we're having to feed them as well. Because that's
don't get me wrong. I would make it really easy. See the contract that they get for doing the dentistry in those hotels. I would put in the contract that there's going to be a dentist surgery put up in the town centre, and you'll do one day at the hotel, one day at the town centre, and the town centre one will be bookable by any genuine citizen that doesn't have an NHS dentist.
Well, that sounds brilliant, but they never want. We are the second-class citizens now in our own country, so they won't do that. But just to finish that point, we know it's just over 5 million a day on board alone. Then we have to feed the fuckers, which is about the same again. Then they get everything under the sun, treatments, anything like that. They can all come in full of fucking AIDS, TB, doesn't matter what it is. They all get treated for those things. So you've got all of that. They all get handed a fucking mobile phone of some description, prepaid credit on, and they're not cheapo fuckers either. They're like, okay, they might not be the brand new one, but they are like iPhones and stuff like. A lot of people in this country don't even have a fucking mobile phone.
The reason why they're iPhones is the government contracts are all iPhones.
Yeah, well, it's probably that. So it doesn't take long that this what they'll admit to 5 million a day becomes nearer to like 10, between 10 and 15, but let's call it 10. So you've got 10 million pound a day being pissed up the wall multiplied by 365. Well, there's 3.5 billion straight away. But if you then take into account that it costs us £100,000 a year just to keep somebody in a prison, a foreigner in our prisons, because that's how much it costs apparently. It costs 100 grand a year. And that's probably a conservative estimate as well, because like I say, they won't admit to anything more than that. And we know we've got several thousand foreign fuckers in our prisons that shouldn't even be here. So you multiply 7,000 by 100,000 and you've got another fucking 10 billion, or, you've got another billions. It doesn't take long before you're hitting that, just by getting rid of the fuckers and not having to deal with them and not having to pay them and not having to do this. If you were to do that, that 50 billion, you've pretty much capped it in that one fell swoop. And nobody's even talking about repatriation, which will be coming, by the way. But anyway, so that's the way that they can do it. If there was a will, there's a way. And it's the easiest way possible because A, those people shouldn't even fucking be here. And B, if you're a criminal, go be a criminal in your own country. We'll actually, if you're from, some shithole wherever, we're not just going to dump them on the people at the door. We'll just say, yeah, well, this person here committed this crime. We want them to serve time in your prisons. And if you haven't got it, and what we will do is, because like I say, it's 100 grand to us, but to them, it probably costs them like £3 a year. But we'll be fair, we'll say, and we'll pay you 10,000 per prisoner that you take off us. And, and I don't give a shit anymore. If it just, I don't care who the fuck it is, if it's Pol Pot or fucking Idi Amin. Yeah, we'll pay you 10 grand to take them off and put them in your prisons. And I don't. Well,
Samson, I've just fucking solved it. Here's what we do, and this is a genuine fucking epiphany. See the country, see Pakistan. We've got an embassy there, right? That embassy's British ground. What we'll do is we'll get a bigger embassy and we'll put a fucking prison in there. And we'll do the same in India and we'll do the same in every country.
No.
And we will jail them legally in that country. Then just fuck them.
You're missing the point, you see, because what we don't want is we don't want any responsibility for them whatsoever. So we pay those countries X amount per prisoner and basically say, and that's for however long they need to stay in your prisons. And if that's 2 days, well, well, oh dear, there was a paper blanket and they killed themselves accidentally. And we've had like 7,000 instances of that. And people, the hand rigging and fucking hopeless hate and all them bastards will be saying there, oh, but you can't do that. You can't do it. We can do whatever the fuck we like, basically. The worm is turning. We're not taking it anymore. The first thing that we're going to do is get rid of all of the illegals, get rid of all of the fuckers out of our prisons, saving ourselves an absolute fortune. And we'll send them back to their own countries. We'll pay them countries to put them up in their own prisons. We don't want any. The problem is, if they're on British soil, it doesn't matter if they're in Pakistan or India or anywhere. We still have to treat them based on UK prison standards. Yeah, so no, that doesn't actually work. We want them in horrible fucking Pakistani prisons or Afghani prisons or Indian prisons or wherever the fuck ever prisons.
Our prison standards just fucking feed them and clothe them. Fuck it.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. And there's no hardship there because they all get, PlayStations and shit like tellies to play with. And so, we sod them off to wherever they're from. We pay their governments and they'll say, God bless you. And they'll say, well, actually, we haven't, we probably haven't got enough space. That's fine. The money we'll be giving you, you can start building them, or maybe your prison service is just unlucky and you just have a lot of accidents. I'm sorry, bro. I don't fucking care anymore. I genuinely don't care. These fuckers come to our country either uninvited or unwanted, and then betray the British people's decency and kindness by committing some of the most heinous of crimes. I'm sorry, I don't care. I don't care if you stole a packet of Lurpak butter or if you fucking, the fucker from the Stockport thing, right? You're going back to your own countries. Once you're there, if we never hear about you ever again, it'd be too fucking soon. So. And that would be a massive saving. I'll tell you something now, right? The Labour government, believe it or not, they got in on a tiny, they got a vast majority on a tiny vote share, basically. And So they haven't got they haven't got a mandate as such. Certainly not from the British people. They just happen to have a lot of seats because everybody said, "Yeah, fuck all of you because you're all awful," and it just happened to be Labour that everybody decided, well, we've had 14 years of those bastards, so let's try a bit of the communism for a bit. Oh shit, that's even worse. But I'll tell you something now. They keep on picking around little fucking taxes here and there. Like what was the other one? Like, we're thinking about doing away with the triple lock on pensions, and it's like, well, yeah, but what's that going to net you? It's like square root of fuck all a year. They already are using a stealth tax tactic by freezing the the rates before you start paying tax. The tax bans. So they've frozen them because the idea was that when at the end of each year, if inflation was 3%, the income tax allowance would rise by 3% to offset it. Well, what they've been doing for the last fucking however long, 10, 15 years is they've frozen that. So every year, people in the public and or private sector will get a pay rise of some description. Generally, not always, but generally. So that could be 2 or 3%, but because the the thresholds, the banding stays the same, the people pay a lot more. Because they're paying more, get more money, they pay a lot more tax because the ban. So effectively, tax bans of 15 years ago, people are getting paid cumulatively, 3% a year on average. So that means that the bank, they're getting like an extra sort of 10% of wages that they can tax the fuck out of them. So, they're doing all that. But they're doing all kinds of these little stupid little things like, oh, we're going to do the triple lock. Oh, we're going to do that. Oh, we're going to do this. And why are they doing that? Well, because Labour made the promise, well, we can't increase income tax, which is good because it's eye-watering as it is anyway, considering we get fuck all for it. And the same on national insurance, so things like they could go with VAT, but I mean, inflation's rocketing high. The last thing you need is to add VAT on top of that. So they've got all these stupid fucking ideas like let's put national insurance on rental stuff like that. So they've got all of this shit here, but they've got one absolutely, and it can be done. Trump's shown it can be done. You round all the fucking illegals up, you put them on planes back to their respective countries. Goodbye, God bless, fuck you. We send all the criminals back to their countries. We'll pay the other countries to do it because it's cheaper for us in the long term to do it. What happens to them once they're there? Don't care. And if Labour were to do that, overnight they'd go from being the most hated set of wankers in the entirety of these lands to, yeah, go Labour. Yeah, you're finally doing something for the people. And also, so not only will they get brownie points from the ordinary man in the street for saying, yeah, we should be fucking all those fuckers off, they also managed to fill a massive hole in the fucking finances. Will they do it? Will they fuck? Because they're all useless. But anyway, there you go.
Right.
Anyway, right, Pete, have you finished your ice cream yet, mate? What are you can play some music or something, or something like that? Because it's great stuff.
I was just listening to you guys, listening to what you were saying.
Yep, right. Pete, what have you got for us this evening?
What do you want?
Give us a light-hearted story. Oh,
I can tell you about what tell you about what happened tonight.
Yep, give us that one. Listen,
So,
hold on, everybody. Fresh off the press, another Pete Benton story. These are always good. Off you go.
So, are you aware, 42, of a competition? Ellie knows it off Facebook called King of Comps.
No.
Well, anyway, it's one of these things where you can like win, and you sign up to it, you subscribe to it, and you can like win prize, you
All
can
right,
win cash prizes and that.
Sort of like the prize guy type thing.
they'll phone you up on a private
Yeah.
number, and you have to say something like "cash is king," and then you win the
Right.
money, something like that. Well,
Right.
they were at this place anyway that we've just been to. There's free food, drink, and all that. And I had a look at the pictures and everything, and it looked all right. And I thought, yeah, be a nice time, mate. Got there, and I thought, oh, it's a bit smaller than I thought it would be, but okay, I'll roll with it. And sat down, got our free drink, and looking around, taking a video. Oh, it looks nice place, yeah. And I got to thinking, hold on, it ain't a very big place for the entertainment that's in here, pool tables or air hockey, arcade games upstairs. And this is an event for King of Comps are going to be here as well, and there's going to be food as well. Um, Probably loads of people are going to come mainly for the food, and maybe to win some fucking money. I don't know. So I thought this place is going to get rammed off it, and I don't do rammed off it places. I sort of go into my shell. And I thought this is going to upset my missus. This is because she wanted this to be a nice day out and everything, a nice night out. And I'm not going to do too well. Sure enough, the people start pouring in, and it's starting to get more and more. And we was only we had this little table, and I'd already give the third chair up to somebody because it was just me and Kelly. And it got that full by the time the food arrived. People were sharing our table, and it's like this is weird. It's I tell you what, it was like turning up at some random corner pub, and you just these randomers out in the sticks, and you're dying for a pint, and you see this pub, and all the fucking locals are in there, all the usuals are in there, and then you walk in, and everything just goes quiet, and they're just looking at you. Not that they was doing anything like that, but that's the way I felt being in that place. Is like, so Kelly said, "Do you want to go upstairs?" And I went, "All right." And by this point, I'd been messaging you about the place and everything, and I'd got a bit tipsy. I thought, I don't think I'm going to do too well tonight on this stream if I carry on like this. Because it would have took a few more points for me to just to keep things together, basically. Um, Ended up having a nice laugh upstairs on the arcade game. They had like a old 80s arcade thingy, and it had like loads of 80s games on there. We played Centipede, Asteroids, Tetris, uh, yeah, all sorts of little games on there. And then I was like, I've got to go because let's just get the hell out of here because I've got to stream in a bit. And I just need to get out of here, basically. I can't deal with it. So she called a taxi, and we're waiting for the taxi. I can't wait to fucking get home. And the taxi's saying, yeah, I'm here. And we're like, no, you're not. This place, by the way, is like down some, it's in some fucking warehouse by some fucking fields, and like you have to turn down this real dark fucking country road. It's like pitch fucking black. And this taxi man's like, no, I'm waiting for you. And we're like, my missus is like, fucking, no, we'll start walking up anyway. Anyway, we started walking away from the place, and it's getting darker and darker and darker. And I'm looking at my phone. I'm just following Kelly. Then Kelly goes, "Oh bloody hell, it's getting ever so fucking dark now. Right? This taxi isn't too far away." I look up, and it's pitch black. I just start fucking freaking out. I'm thinking fucking dog men, fucking cryptids, fucking all sorts of mad shit. Is there a hole in the floor? You know, where the fuck are we? So I just pulled my torch straight up on my phone, hung it over our heads, man. Got round the corner, and there's the taxi. Got in the taxi, and just started watching my stream that David clipped because I found it's mad how like you know when they say your phone listens to you.
Yeah.
And next minute, you know, you be having a conversation with someone about a holiday or about this, that, and the other. Next minute, you know, you look at your phone and there's fucking advertisements and emails for going abroad places and all that. So what the hell we were just talking about that? Well, you know that clip that Dave took of me going, "Nee, nee, 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 nee." I literally sat down in this place tonight, yeah, and I'm just going through shorts. And like the second short that came up was that Justin Bieber thing. And as soon as I heard Justin Bieber go, new, 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 I paused my phone, put my hand on my head with my jaw dropped like fucking Columbo. And I'm looking at fucking Kelly and she's like, what are you looking at me like that for? Are you in trouble? What's the matter? And then I just smiled and I went, no. I said, because I ain't even going to play the rest of this short just yet because I already know what this is because of the way Justin Bieber just did that. I've just fucking got a lead to the tune that I've been ripping the rest of my hair out trying to fucking find. I was up last night looking through charts of 2008 all the way through to 2012 till stupid o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't find it. Oh, it really done my fucking head in. And then I go out tonight, and then that short comes up, and I'm like, there you go, there you fucking go.
Excellent. So, so I take it the taxi was just at the end of the big long dark lane.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, just
Uh,
randomly just waiting for us with his lights on.
Yeah, and no werewolves came out or anything.
No, luckily no. What balls?
Right. Okay. Well, I think we're at 56 minutes. Going to have a very quick musical interlude. I'm going to play Ucky Moore by Tat, and then we shall reconvene. Share screen. There it is.
Where hast thou been since I saw thee? On Ilklamo Batat. Where hast thou been since I saw thee? Where hast thou been since I saw thee? On Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat. There's been a courty Mary Jane on Ilklamo Batat. There's been a court in Mary Jane. There's been a court in Mary Jane. On Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat. They'll go and get the death a cowl on Ilklamo Batat. They'll go and get the death a cowl. They'll go and get the death a cowl. On Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat. Then we shall have to bury thee. On Ilklamo Batat. Then we shall have to bury thee. Then we shall have to bury thee. On Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat. Then the worms will come and net thee up. On Ilklamo Batat. Then the worms will come and net thee up. Then the worms will come and net thee up. On Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat. Then the ducks will come and net up to worms. On Ilklamo Batat. Then the ducks will come and net up to worms. Then the ducks will come and net up to worms. On Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat. Then us will come and net up to ducks. on Ilkla Batat. Then us'll come and net up to ducks, then us'll come and net up to ducks. On Ilkla Batat, on Ilkla Batat, on Ilkla Batat. Then us'll all have it and thee, on Ilkla Batat. Then us'll all have it and thee, then us'll all have it and thee. On Ilkla Batat, on Ilkla Batat, on Ilkla Batat. That's where we'll get our Owen back. On Ilkla Batat. That's where we'll get our Owen back. That's where we'll get our Owen back. On Ilkla Batat, on Ilkla Batat, on Ilkla Batat.
That's a bit of I'll give me a right hat. Outer post zone 261. See around here, a turn can go fuck itself. We really don't like those Irish fuckers. We do not like Irish people that murder British people. You're welcome to stay, but you post that again, you will be banned. Just so as you know. I don't put up that shit. I know all about your Ango Bar. I know about your bombs that you just leave in fucking cars and walk away from. I've seen the people that just have blew up. So no, not here. And relax. Right. Oh, this is back to something a bit more sensible and fitting with the show. Oh, I spot all that shit. I don't put up yet. Yeah, well, I do. Tell me this, where do you live, mate? Any peace walls where you live? See where you live. Do the Irish people come and throw stones at the British people? Because that's what happens here.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. You're Scot. You know fuck all about it, chum. Is what your problem is. If you're supporting them, don't know why any fucking rebel comes around here anyway. But here we go. Oh, totally agree with that. England is for the English. But to get us back to something a bit more lighthearted. Here we go. And StreamYard. Yes, here we go. Woman paid three grand after police laugh at her sex toys. A woman was paid thousands of pounds in compensation after police officers moved her underwear and laughed at her sex toys. Laughed at sex toys in her bedroom. How much is Melania Trump in for? Suffolk police searched her property in Essex in October 2023 as part of a drugs raid, which saw one suspect arrested but eventually released without charge. It prompted a complaint from the woman who felt she had been disrespected by three very young officers after they made jokes upon coming across a box containing sex toys. An internal investigation found that the officer's behaviour was unacceptable and unprofessional, and the complainant was paid £3,500 in compensation. I don't know how somebody having a giggle at your sex toys gets you to $3,500, but this is where we are. Suffolk police stressed that although the box contained sex toys was found and subject to comment and laughter, the officers did not touch or play with the items. Because I'm quite wondering, I wonder what way they expected them to play with them. It did, however, tell the BBC that the underwear appeared to have been moved in jest without any thought given to the upset this could cause to the owner. 1 second, I need to cough. and outer post zoning is gone. The complaint was investigated by Norfolk and Suffolk Professional Standards Department, which said the officers' actions were more due to immaturity than spite. So what they're the woman is saying that the police officers were male and immature, and the complaint board laughed at them. It was noted that all of the officers involved are very young in terms of service and still undergoing training. A spokesperson. That's actually quite. If they're still in training, I don't know why they're out on the job unsupervised. If you want people to behave in a certain way, you need to train them, and that training has to involve all the possibilities, which obviously they have not covered up this. A spokesperson for Suffolk Police said the investigation deemed that whilst the behaviour was not acceptable, it did not require formal disciplinary action. Thank fuck for that. One of the officers left the force prior to the complaint being received. The two officers who remained in service were required to undertake a reflective practice. Yeah, let's have a think about what we did and how we could do it better next time. The really interesting thing is, do they now put this into the police training? I'll come on to that in a minute. According to the force, this means that the officer involved would have had a professional discussion with their manager. They would also have been required to view and comment on body cam footage and encouraged to confront what they did and think about the impact of their behaviour. Because somebody laughing at the fact that you've got a couple of sex toys in your bedroom is causing what damage? I don't know. The police said the officers and detective inspector who investigated the allegations apologised to the complainant both verbally and in writing. So that's the other place that we're currently at. We've got a woman getting $3,500 because some policemen laughed at her sex toys. Discuss.
Well, it sort of harks back to the first story, doesn't it? You know, I mean, there used to be, yeah. I mean, you know, the fact that these things were like sort of just lying around, or you know,
well, I don't think they were lying around. They were there to search the place for drugs. So I think they've went into a wardrobe or whatever looking for drugs and come out with a box of sex toys.
They obviously lifted their underwear, and there they was.
Well, you know, I've got a story. There was a story about Plod this last week, not decorating themselves in glory. But the thing is, you know, when it comes to drugs, you know, if you've got some shit like that, that's, you know, would be deemed sort of salacious or inappropriate, or however you want to frame it, I don't care. But like, you know, if you're expecting Plod to be, you know, if it was like older Plod or wherever, or Lady Plod or wherever, they'd sort of, oh, right, okay, well, we'll just... So that would actually be the ideal place to stash the gear, because you're hoping that Plod wouldn't take too much of a time looking at, because it's...
Actually, here's an interesting thing, because all those toys used to be battery operated, so they have a cavity for batteries where the drugs could have been placed, but they're now all USB ported, so you can no longer do that unless you reckon you've got the unless you're working with a vintage rampant rabbit. Oh, here's another thing. When we're on the subject, the Bum family. Everybody makes really, really lots of fun of the Bum family because it's just the bum and the family and the rest of the body's not there. A vibrator or a dildo is just the penis. It's the exact same thing in reverse, but that's apparently not the same perverted thing that a bum fanny is. And by the way, ladies, I'm not complaining about just having toys or anything. I just think that there is a mismatch in how the two things are thought about.
Mm.
So, anything else on that?
Can't say as I've ever heard of a bum fanny before.
Oh, right. See, the bum fanny story is it comes from the Chris Dangerfield stream, and where else would it come from? But he was he was offered the opportunity to do an unboxing of this thing. It's part of a silicone sex doll. Only the only parts it's got, like, if you can imagine, you take a body and you chop off the legs at the thigh, and then the torso at the belly button, and you've got this
Right.
middle section. Well, this is a silicone version of that with the vagina and the arse and all of that, and it's so unpack this with me. Normalize the bum fanny. So that's all there is to it. But well, it seems like for some people that's all they need.
Oh, God.
Well, having said that, blowjob machines are generally just ahead, so. But
I watched a video yesterday of these Japanese fucking robots, prostitute robots you can get now. Realistic looking ones, blink, they look at you, they can talk, all this mad stuff. And then you take all the latex off the face and it looks like a hideous, crazy fucking Terminator.
oh,
Just like a real woman, then.
yeah.
No, no.
Oh, I heard,
That was a level too low. But I will say is at least they come with a fucking mute button.
Yeah.
like if they ever want to have an army of robots, right, that are autonomous and they can program and will do their control with no care for themselves or whatever, they're first of all going to have to be able to make robots that can work on are autonomous. And the only way they're ever going to get that past the public is to make them work in cafes for men, where it'll come over you can order your coffee, it'll come over, it'll go make the coffee, set the coffee on your table, then kneel underneath the table and give you a blowjob. And those robots will be accepted. They'll populate, and then from that, they'll be able to get the technology to turn them into fucking super soldiers.
Shit. Imagine.
Yeah. As with everything, whenever they're trying to put something really fucking nefarious through, they make it seem like it'll give the men better access to sex. And then they're fucking everyone who is ruled by their penis, their small head instead of their large head, goes, oh fuck yeah, that'll be fine. What could ever go wrong? As long as I'm getting some form of sex out of it, I really don't care. And then you end up in a really shitty situation. Like fucking Terminators running about.
Yeah.
I would love to see Sarah Connor watching the video of the fucking prostitute robots.
The lasers coming at the tits.
Oh, there you go. Right, gentlemen, have you what other stories do you have?
Well, I don't have a story, but I've got a funny video that we could
Ah,
probably
good.
stick on.
Funny videos
Yeah.
are always good. Oh, here,
It's,
Dave Waffle, are you still on the? Are you still lurking? Are you taking notes and starting to find yourself stories for next month? Dave Waffle will be back. Dave Waffle is. It's the end of the month stream. We try to avoid those normal stories. Yep, Dave Waffle should be, hopefully, is going to be the end of the month guest next month. Mr. Peter Benton, you get your right to reply. I understand that people come to this stream and they maybe weren't quite sure what they were getting signed up to, and maybe leave thinking, why did I do that? Or I should have said, or would have said, or would love to have brought X story. So you get an opportunity to come back next month and rectify any of that. And Dave's having a good giggle. Yeah, so Dave, start looking at weird stories. That's what you need. And Sansom has given us this.
I've seen this before.
Oh, go on, hit a post. Hit a post.
yeah, that was one that was on this week. That was a good one. So there you go. Yeah. There was a story that sort of it's semi funny, which I share because it's funny, but it's yet another Britain fail, if you if you know what I mean. But it's so. But this story here, it fails on so many levels. But it's man sacked after impersonating Michael Jackson.
Yes, I seen this one. It's class.
Was unfairly dismissed at tribunal fines. A man sacked from working in a warehouse after being accused of impersonating Michael Jackson was unfairly dismissed, an employment tribunal has found. Lukasz Javadsky, so an Eastern Blocker, was accused by a colleague of making high-pitched hee-hee noises mimicking the US pop star, the tribunal in Manchester heard. Mr. Zawadsky was also accused by the colleague, who is black, of making monkey noises and being racist at the co-op warehouse where they worked. He admitted making embarrassing and juvenile noises in the workplace, but said they were not racist. The cooperative group was ordered to pay him more than $10,000 in compensation after employment judge Carol Porter found he was unfairly dismissed. A colleague referred to as SM reported to his manager that he had been a victim of bullying in December 23. According to the tribunal's judgment, Mr. Zawadzki was told a complaint had been made against him, in which the colleague alleged he was screaming noises in the style of Michael Jackson, which was described as a high-pitched hee-hee. He later admitted making grunting and moaning noises with other colleague and agreed these could be described as orgasmic, and it was not appropriate in the workplace. He also said that the colleague had commented on his high-pitched laugh, but he denied impersonating the US pop star and making monkey noises, saying he did not want to bully or hurt someone. The tribunal heard Mr. Zawadsky was suspended after alleged breach of the bullying, harassment, and discrimination policy, specifically making inappropriate comments to a colleague causing hurt and distress. Yeah, what the fuck ever. So this is a story here, but you know it's still a for the UK because, first of all, Lukasz Zawadzki shouldn't even fucking be here, and neither should the colleague who is Blick should not be here either. So, you know, and this bloke's been awarded 10 grand for basically doing the old Michael Jackson noises. Only in the presence of this.
Your woman only got fucking 3.5 grand for people laughing at her sex toys.
Yeah,
How is this worth more?
I don't know. You know, it was maybe they were compensating that he couldn't use the co-op discount card that they get. So it was worth a bit more. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's a funny story, but once again, it's you know, effectively a couple of IMOs, or you know, the first one I'm fairly much certain is an IMO, and the second one, once again, I don't give a fuck anymore. If you know, if a dog's born in a barn, it's not a fucking horse. Neither of them should be here. Not wanted, not needed, never needed, not wanted. So feel free to fuck off. But there you go. And on that sort of line there, all this week, or the last couple of weeks, you know, because we've been doing the old George Cross everywhere. They
Operation
you get
Raise
people,
Colours.
yeah. Well, you get people like, you know, Dr. Kahindi Andrews or Professor Kahindi Andrews, Professor of Black Studies, of course he is, in Birmingham University, and that Narinder Kaur, you know, somebody subcontinent bird, and they've literally, you know, I always say this to these people who constantly hate on our country: is your life better or worse for you actually being in the UK, you know, all of those advantages that you've been given, compared to if you or your parents or your forebears had just stayed the fuck where they were in either Africa or in India or wherever the hell, Pakistan or Bangladesh, whatever. I don't care. You know, was your start in life better for being in this country as opposed to have been in bloody Kenya or, like I say, you know, because I would say with Narinder, because I'm not sure where she's from, if she's an Indian or if she's Pakistani or whatever. But let's put it this way.
Do you know why most of the people from Pakistan and India come to this country? What the actual reason is? It's to escape the racism in India or Pakistan, because they're of the wrong class and they're kept to the fucking bottom, and they come here for a fair go.
Well, that Narinder Kaur, she's another post-war harridan who sort of thinks she's all that in a bag of chips because she's got a nice set of chebs. But the reality is, if she even dared, put it this way, right, Narinder, if you were back wherever the fuck you were from, do you think you'd get away looking like that on national TV and walking around the streets? No, because there's probably a couple of handy half-pound stones with your name on them, because that's the way they treat them over there. But obviously hasn't got a fucking good word to say about us. I think it was India where she's from, because I think she did a story where she goes, "Oh, I'm going back home to whatever," and she was there 5 minutes and couldn't wait to get back here. Yeah. So that tells you exactly what it needs to know. And then you've got Professor Kahindi Andrews. Now I don't know where he's from, if it's Nigeria or Kenya or wherever the hell's ever. But he comes on and he hasn't got one good thing to say about this country. We're all, you know, white devils. We're to blame for everything in the world. Blah 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 blah. Well, Professor Andrews, do you think you'd be a professor of Birmingham University had you stayed the fucking Kenya, sucking on a chicken head and fucking dancing around the maypole? You know, did you? I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. What I'm saying is, you know, it's quite unlikely, you know. So you're in a position of educational, you know, the hierarchy of education, you know, one of the top positions as a professor, even though it's a stupid fucking subject. Do you know, Peter, do you know why there's no professor of white studies?
Oh, go on.
It's because they're called history professors. There you go. Here endeth the lesson. But yeah, so you got all these fucking ingrates on here. So once again, I don't care anymore. I don't care. If you anybody, when we start saying, when the incentivized repatriation comes in, we should really pass a law that says, if you've been in this country for even since birth, because Trump's reversing that now as well. Birth citizenship rights. Good lad. We need a bit of that here. If you haven't, if you haven't got a good thing to say about this country, and I certainly haven't got a good thing to say about this country. Well, when I say that, not the country, the people running the fucking show, because they're an absolute shambles. But I have the right to say that, I have the right to call that shit out and to, ditch on the MPs and that have allowed this to happen. But you can't come on from a position of privilege and then start bemoaning how fucking oppressed you are when you're probably, from a financial perspective, and certainly from a exposure perspective, probably in the top 5% of the entire country, and yet you're still lording it over ordinary working class people as though we're the fucking piece of shit on the sole of your shoe. Well, tell you what, Dr. Andrews and Narinder Kaur, come the revolution, any kind of fucking sentiment like that will be treated as treason, and you will be fucked off straight out of the country. You'll be the first ones on the fucking plane. And I'd put Lenny Henry on that plane as well, because he was the nation's sweetheart for a couple of decades, 2 or 3 decades. He gets his knighthood, so Leonard Henry, the first thing he does is shits all over us and starts going, this, all this. Like, well, you can fuck off as well, Lenny. I don't give a fuck if you were born in Dudley. You can fuck right off.
Back off him.
Yeah.
I would take the knighthood back off him. Oh, here, before I forget, there was a YouTube channel I meant to give a shout out to, and I forgot at the start, so I want to do it now. I'm going to play a quick, this is only a short, but it's off a protest in Belfast. I have a couple of things to say about it. The important thing, the other thing I'm going to say is I'm putting the link in the chat for this channel. If you could all subscribe. I know this guy. First met him first got in touch with him during the 2012 flag protests. He does a very good job of documenting things like that, protests and stuff. But he's only just started back up. He stopped after the flag protest started. He's just started back up, and he needs subscribers so he can go live. But this is a protest on the Shankill Road in Belfast. I'm going to play it. There's a couple of things that I want to comment about on it. Here, what do you notice not at this protest that you see in all the ones in England? What's missing? There's no counter protest, and there's no police.
There's no police. I noticed that.
Yep. Oh, and they're right across that road. That road's closed. The police are up the other end of the road, directing traffic away from it because the road's closed. There's no counter protest because it's on the Shankill Road. And the people that live there would love Antifa to come up to try to counter protest that. because we'd have to walk into the middle there, in the middle of Shankill Road in the Yellow Loyalist place, and they wouldn't get out again. And they know that, so they stay away. And this is what happens whenever you actually have a community that's solid, and the police stay away from it because they can't be arsed with the 4 days of rat and they're going to get if they try to move them. You just say to them, right, how long are you going to be here for? An hour? Right, that's okay. We'll close this road for an hour and you can have your protest. But I'm putting this link in. If you could please go and subscribe to him. The other thing is, if you want to see what's actually going on with protests in Belfast, you'll get it from this guy. There we go. That's a wee protest the other day on the Shankill Road. Brad's breathing on the paper bag because of the lack of diversity.
What was that protest for?
Anti-immigration.
All right, okay. Yeah, because I mean, in fairness, your neck of the woods isn't as bad as everywhere else. I mean, where I am, it's not as bad. I mean, you've got London and Birmingham, Manchester, they've all fallen now. So, and it's going to spread. Like I say, unless something is done about it now, then, you know, it's going to spread. And, the problem is, it is the root of all evil.
We've only got it because the English Parliament's soft as shit.
Yeah. And like I say, the problem that we've got is that it is, if we don't do something drastically about immigration, like full complete stop, legal and illegal migration, getting rid of all the ones that have no right to be here whatsoever, and including prisoners, you know, they've shown that they are not worthy to be part of our society, so they can all go. Then we need to get rid of all of the bloody drains on our society. Like, you know, there's some huge number of the ones that are here legally. There are not citizens that literally, you know, that they are here on benefits basically, or they're here on minimum wage jobs that need to be backfilled with benefits of some description or another. You know, I don't care if you're a good person or not. Sorry, we can't afford you anymore. Fuck off. I'm at the point where I just don't care anymore. And I don't care what epithets or labels these fuckers want to call me, like, oh, you're far right. You're not far right enough yet. You're a Nazi, you're a racist, you're fascist, you're this. Yeah, just keep them coming because they're meaningless now. You know, your magic incantations have no fucking power over me anymore now. So, you know, but the thing is, we can't move anywhere else. You know, these are our homelands. We've got nowhere else to go. It is an existential threat. It needs to be addressed. It needs to be resolved. And the biggest stumbling block to any kind of progress in that direction, literally the biggest stumbling block is going to be CivNats. CivNats are going to be the biggest stumbling block because what's going to happen is if they win and they say, like, they make a little charter that says, oh yeah, but these people, you know, if they match these criteria, then what happens is the legalese and the justice system that makes sure that every fucker that we don't actually want here meets that criteria, so they still get licensed to stay.
No, you need to change. You need to change the judges.
They'll get peer appointed as well come the revolution, along with all the 650 traitors in Westminster.
The judicial system, as it currently stands, the people who are at the top end of it need to be removed, and we need people that have. We need people that actually like Britain, and until that's done, and we need rid of that whole managerial class on the left. That has to be the immigrants are a symptom. The civnats are a symptom. The the LGBT lobby having the power that it has is a symptom. And the only way we get rid of that system is by having politicians that we can actually hold the account that come out of our communities. When was the last time any white working class person with normal views got anywhere in politics? It fucking hasn't happened in 50 years in England. And that's what needs to change. We have lost all control of our political parties. The way it stands, what woke it up for me was Brexit, because I was thinking all these politicians that are in Leave constituencies are going to have to go back to those Leave constituents, and the Leave constituents will fucking make their life hell and make them change their policies. But that did not happen because the politicians have no contact whatsoever with white working class English people anymore. And where they used to come around and do the village fete and the nativity play and all of that, they now go to the migrant centre, to the LGBT centre, to the special needs centre, to all of those things. And if their constituents are pissed off with them, it makes no difference. See where I live? My MP has to do the bidding of his community because he's in his community every day and he has to interact with those people. There are events that you can't be a unionist politician and not attend in some way, shape, or form, and the general public can come over and say to you, "What the fuck do you think you're doing?" And they want and need to be able to go back to those places because they'll not get elected without them. So they do what we say, and that is what has been lost in England, and that's what needs returned.
Yeah. I'm surprised that the politicians would go to special needs centres.
Oh,
sorry, mate. Let me qualify that, because in the mainland, special needs centres are called police stations. So,
oh fuck. Oh, don't get me started on the police. And the other thing is, why are we having groups like Common Purpose coming in to train our police? You know, you do all your time at school, you leave school. I think most police have to have a university degree by this stage. So you've got them at that level. Then you take them in, you do the police training. And whenever they've finished all of that, of the police teaching them how to police, they then get an outside body called Common Purpose to come in and teach them the other way to police and the way that has to be done, and give them courses on pronouns and all that bullshit. That all needs removed. We should have no NGOs training the police, and that includes Women's Aid, by the way, who have a go at coming in and training the police. Never trust a cop. That's the other thing. See, if you live in Northern Ireland and you're working class and you join the police, you need to move. We don't have in the same way that we don't have Irish nationalists living in our communities, we don't have police officers either. Because they see too much and they think too much. And we found that it's not conducive. You know, at some point, things are going to have to change with the top end of the legal system.
Well, I the first thing I would do is disband Tony Blair's illegal Supreme Court. It should be the High Court and no more, and they can fuck that European piece of shit off as well.
Oh, well, we could go back to the law lords that we used to have.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, the law lords actually like the British people. And what we've got now didn't. Our legal system only became political whenever Tony Blair took power. Because he changed all of the parameters and he changed the whole way the whole thing works. None of it fits within the English Bill of Rights. All of it is on very, very, very dodgy constitutional ground, and it all needs fucking repealed. Personally speaking, I would repeal everything back to fucking 1688. And then get everything running the way it's supposed to and see where we are, and then gradually give some rights back to some people. Oh, not the other thing. Tony Blair fucking rammed the House of Lords. He totally changed what it was supposed to be. And our the Brexit deal that we had, that we got passed through the Houses of Parliament, which would have actually worked, went up the House of Lords and never came back. And the House of Lords does not have that power. It can delay it for 364 days, no more than that. But somehow the House of Lords managed to fucking get the bill stopped, which is outside of our constitution. And there was something else. What was the other fucking thing I was going to say? Well, can't remember. That's going to bug me now. But yeah, the whole way Tony Blair changed the whole way our system works. It's illegal.
Yeah. And then bring back, he repealed the death penalty for treason.
Yeah,
well, I'll be repealing that repeal, and
yes, because
his name's first one against, on the rope. Yeah, there you go. Look at that there. Isn't that a strange story? Toothpaste made with hair naturally repairs tooth enamel. Scientists discover. Now, if you want it made with pubic hair, it's slightly more expensive. Fluoride is currently relied on to slow enamel erosion, but keratin-based treatments were found to stop it completely. So here we go. Here's the scientist with these blobs of hair. Dr. Sherif Al-Shawaki at King's College London. Toothpaste made with hair could repair damaged teeth and stop the early stages of decay, a new study has found. Scientists at King's College discovered keratin, a protein found in hair, skin, and wool that is often used in reparative shampoos, can also help with teeth. We think this is a game changer. An industry move to introduce keratin is an actual product with our daily use to protect and heal your tooth enamel without even realizing. So there you go. If you have a micro crack or a very small defect, it will heal itself without you even realizing. Many tooth problems come from damaged enamel, which does not regenerate once it's lost. It's gone forever. When keratin mixes with the minerals in saliva, it produces a protective coating to mimic the structure and the function of natural enamel. So there you go. You can brush your teeth with hair. It's normally trying to spit them out, isn't it? If you get air in your teeth, it's not a good sign, is it?
It's not the normal way to get a hair in your tooth. It reminds me of that song. know about how the Scottish accent was caused? I've got a fucking pubic hair stuck in back of throat. Whatever way I move my mouth, I just can't get it out. You know?
Yeah. Oh, the Scots are great people, aren't they? They invented wine, didn't they? Two fellas
Oh, yes.
fighting over a penny. It's the old ones, it's the good ones.
Well,
Yeah.
Peter, what about you, chum?
Yeah, I'm getting tired.
Yeah, well, this is wrapping up in about 15 minutes anyway.
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed your first venture into this format?
Yeah, I'll come on again.
Excellent. Excellent. And we'll try to get you more involved next time around.
No, it's okay. I've just been listening. I mean, if I've got anything good to say, I'll open my mouth.
Yeah. Oh, but feel free to talk over us.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, right. Let me explain this. How this works is it's organized like fuck all.
You
But
mean like Packer?
yeah. Right. So if something comes up and you've got this thought you need to get out, just start talking and we will keep quiet. Okay? So don't be thinking you need to, it's like whenever you're beginning to learn about how to have conversations with multiple adults and you're always very reticent of when you butt in. Don't worry about that here, mate. Just blurt stuff out and we'll back off.
Sweet.
It's,
Okay.
it's not considered impolite because apart from anything else, none of us can really see each other and we're not getting any visual clues or whatnot. So if there's something comes up and you want to talk about it, just start, just shout out. I probably might have helped them have told you out at the start of the show, but we'll get there. What's the name of the little goblin with the grins? The accent. I think somewhere a sleeper cell's just been activated. Oh, there we go. Well, right. We will have a little bit of a musical interlude. I think we will have YouTube. What will we have? We're gonna have a sea shanty. Oh, I know what we'll have. Mary Brown. Is it Mary Brown? Sally Brown. I would just need to get advertisements. Haven't had a sea shanty for a while, so we'll give this a whirl. Presenter in fact, share screen. Share screen. That's the other thing about StreamYard. They've put an extra 3 clicks in to share a screen for fuck's sake.
I shipped on board of a Liverpool liner, where Roland go, alongside the 49ers, spend my money on Sally Brown. Sally Brown of New York City, where Roland go, Sally Brown, you're very pretty, spend my money on Sally Brown. Sally Brown, she's a bright mulata.
Where roll and go.
She drinks rum and chews tobacco. Spend my money on Sally Brown.
Hey, hold on. This is the shittiest version of Sally Brown I've ever heard in my life. I'm going to take action. We're going to go back to Sally Brown. Fuck off.
Ah, Sally Brown, she's a nice young lady. Way, hey, we roll and go. And we roll all night and we roll all day. Spend our money on Sally Brown. Ah, Sally Brown, she's a bright mulatto. Way, hey, we roll and go. Well, she drinks dog rum and she chews tobacco. Way, hey, we roll and go. And we roll all night and we roll all day. Spend our money on Sally Brown. Well, if father likes a tarry sailor, way, hey, we roll and go. And we roll all night and we roll all day. Spend our money on Sally Brown. Ah, Sally Brown, she likes a good scrumpy. Way, hey, we roll and go. Ah, she likes a bit of the rumpy pumpy. Way, hey, we roll and go. And we roll all night and we roll all day. Spend our money on Sally Brown. Ah, Sally Brown, she's a nice young lady. Way, hey, we roll and go. Yes, Sally Brown, she's a fine young lady. Way, hey, we roll and go. And we roll all night and we roll all day. Spend our money on Sally Brown. And we roll all night and we roll all day. Spend our money on Sally Brown.
There we go. At the second time of asking, a nice little bit of Sally Brown by the Dreadnoughts. The first one was shite, but we'll live and we learn. As we are approaching the end, gentlemen, have you anything else that you need to get off your chests?
No.
No.
No, I'm all right, mate. No, thanks for having us on again. Sorry I didn't come prepared because, like I say,
Mate, do not worry about it. I have been the same. Everybody's quite busy and sometimes you just don't have time to do a full prep. So honestly, don't worry about it. And this has always been the 1 week of the month where we just fucking wing everything and find what weird stories we can. So it's fine. Honestly, don't worry about it. And thank you very much for coming on. Really enjoy these streams. Have done since we started them. And thank you very much for sticking with it and coming along.
Yeah, no problem. Look forward to doing it again.
Yep. Here.
When Peter comes on next time, I want some of your music, Peter. I like it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll sort it out. I've got a few new bits that I'm in the process of finishing up, so hopefully they'll be ready for you.
Yep, brilliant. Yeah, and you know the level of story you've got 4 weeks to think about.
yeah.
Yeah. See if you can find a story that beats either of my two.
Oh.
Because I would love to hear them. Yeah, this is what we like. Any weird shit that's going on.
I have to say, Forty, since I've been coming on your shows, I have been thinking I need to take some time to thinking about what happened through my life, see if it'll bring anything up that I've just totally forgot about. It's like, oh bloody hell, that's a bloody good story, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah,
As you
well,
know, I've got a lot of stuff going on back home, and I'm always working as well. So
oh,
you know,
oh, definitely. You're still back on. You're still very welcome back on for more conversations because I'm really enjoying those as well.
yeah, yeah,
And I honestly think it's really important that we talk about people's average, normal, everyday life where it's not all fully political. It's just what it's like living in England today. And yeah, can you put a bit of a political slant on that? Of course you can. But just getting like your oral history and what it is, what's going on with you, is apart from being very good conversations and good content, it's also quite necessary.
yeah. I mean, I don't think any of us could see the pandemic coming, could you? I
Oh God,
mean,
no!
and then now what we've got bloody flags all over the place and people painting George Cross on the islands
Oh, it
everywhere.
looks like Belfast.
What the fuck?
Oh, what I find really strange is that it hasn't been like this before. Because see this having flags up, that's just normal here. The go up before the 1st of July and the come down again about September direction. And I'm really surprised that it hasn't been done in England before. Quite apart from anything else, every time you wrap something on a George Cross and you find out who it is offended by it, then you know who's on the other side. See all these people that are complaining about it? Good, speak up. We can form a list of people that are no longer needed.
Yeah,
And the other thing is, all the people that are complaining, it's not the migrants. It's not the migrants. It's not the immigrants. It's not even the second generation immigrants. It's the white fucking. It's the white left wing middle class, and you just really need to pay attention to that. And the other thing you found out is, if you want to have, yeah, normal Belfast, first thing you notice whenever you come over, uh, the other thing that you're going to notice is, see if you want to have events or anything where you want people like you at, it's really easy. You don't need to ban anybody. You don't need to block anybody. You don't need to say it's exclusive. All you need to do is put a George Cross on the fucking invite to it or the promotion for it. And the people you don't want will stay away because it's like a fucking, it's like kryptonite to them. They
right.
can't, they can't be anywhere near it. And the biggest thing I think is England's starting to find out who's on England's side and who's not. But right, I'm going to wrap this up. Sorry, did I cut your thought off there, Peter?
No, no, no.
No, you're okay. Right, I'm going to play. I need to cough. I'm going to play White Man's Burden by Kipling. And how long is that? Yeah, I'm going to do that for the outro. I'm going to put that up and I'll put all your comments on the screen. And then we'll say our proper goodbyes. So here we go. Share screen. Share screen. Yep, intro coming.
The White Man's Burden by Rudyard Kipling.
Oh, fuck, it's him.
Take up the white man's burden. Send forth the best ye breed. Go bind your sons to exile, to serve your captives' need. To wait in heavy harness, on fluttered folk and wild, your new caught sullen peoples, half devil and half child. Take up the white man's burden, in patience to abide, to veil the threat of terror, and to check the show of pride. By open speech and simple, 100 times made plain, to seek another's profit and work another's gain. Take up the white man's burden, the savage wars of peace. Fill full the mouth of famine, and bid the sickness cease. And when your goal is nearest, the end for others sought, watch sloth and heathen folly bring all your hopes to naught. Take up the white man's burden, no tawdry rule of kings, but toil of serf and sweeper, the tale of common things. The ports ye shall not enter, the roads ye shall not tread. Go make them with your living, and mark them with your dead. Take up the white man's burden, and reap his old reward. The blame of those ye better, the hate of those ye guard. The cry of hosts ye humour, slowly towards the light. Why brought ye us from bondage, our loved Egyptian night? Take up the white man's burden, ye dare not stoop to less, nor call too loud on freedom, to cloak your weariness. By all ye cry or whisper, by all ye leave or do, the silent, sullen peoples shall weigh your gods and you. Take up the white man's burden, have done with childish days, the lightly proffered laurel, the easy, ungrudged praise, comes now to search your manhood through all the thankless years, cold-edged with dear-brought wisdom, the judgment of your peers.
Wow.
Right.
That laptop.
Since that was a car, and I did not know it was the bird brain, I'm going to fucking... Yeah, we're having a bit of Anglo. We'll have the Anglo-Saxon for
Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah.
Sweet.
This actually feels more like an intro.
Yeah.
Here we go. Proper intro. Hello, you're listening to 42's letter to the Anglo-Saxons. When you spread this message, you are the resistance. The Anglo-Saxon. The Anglo-Saxon shook his head sharply, his hair dislodging droplets of sweat from the back of his neck, the produce of moving a carcass to the workbench. The sharpened blades and cleavers felt natural in his hand. The carcass divided to his will. The Anglo-Saxon's muscle memory was that of a warrior. His body was lost to the toil, but his mind wandered to memories that were not his own. An intruder startled the Anglo-Saxon. However, before him was not the meadows and glades of his ancestors, but a butcher's shop window. While politely serving the customer, the Anglo-Saxon mourned the loss of a kingdom he had never known, of the rituals and customs that were lost long before his grandparents were even born. Outside, the street was a bustle. He knew there were others like him, ones who carried the warrior's pride. Amongst them he would find the rightful place of an Anglo-Saxon. The Anglo-Saxon.
It was not preached to the crowd, it was not taught by the state. No man spoke it aloud when the Anglo-Saxons began to hate. It was not suddenly bred, it will not swiftly abate. Through the chill years ahead, when the time shall count from the date that the Anglo-Saxons began to hate. When time shall count from the date the Anglo-Saxons began to hate.
Okay, everybody. Sanson's been Sanson, Peter's been Peter, I've been 42, and you lot in the chat have as always been fucking amazing. Good night, God bless. See you all next week. I'm out of here. Goodbye.